think there are two things that I'm most interested in this life, and it is human relationships and the life purpose. And I think there is no human that has never asked themselves the question of why are we all here? What am I doing here? What is the meaning of all this? I think that I want to make a series of videos talking about this topic, and also I want to make more videos on relationships. I want to make more videos in general, but I would like to know if you guys have any particular questions on the purpose of life and how to find it and so on, and I will ask them again in the end of this video. But I just wanted to share some of my thoughts and observations that I got from my life and working with clients and looking at people around me. So I think that, first of all, it is important. Like, if someone tells you that they will help find your purpose of life, they're at least exaggerating a little bit. I think that no one really knows. And we are here on this earth to actually understand it. And also, it's really different for each and every one of us. In some way, we define it for ourselves, but we keep defining and redefining it until the day that we die, I think. But it is very important to at least vaguely know and to feel that you're going into that direction of discovering it. Because I see that the most people who suffer in their everyday life kind of don't have the sense of purpose and the sense of what is it all even for. And a lot of the branches of philosophy will tell you that we basically invent this sense of life for ourselves, and they might be true. But I think that one of the biggest mysteries of this world is actually, why are we here? And I think that in order to define it, you need to go through a large psychological journey of getting rid of what you have been told you're here for, and also what maybe you thought that good boys and girls and whatever are supposed to do, and listen more to yourself and understand what actually makes you click. And sometimes I think a lot of the people related to the professional success and their work, and most of the times it is related somehow, but I think it's not necessarily that. So maybe there are people who are wonderful mothers or fathers, and that is basically their meaning of life. And of course they probably have a job, but their job is a means for them to maintain their family. And then there are people that make really big changes in the world, and maybe for them family life is less important, or maybe family is this base for them to be able to bring this positive change into the world. And for some people it might be just growing their own plants on their farm for the entire life, and this is equally as valid and awesome as anything else. And I think that it's very important to let yourself be happy in the ways that you are authentically happy, and follow that path whenever possible, because otherwise you're just existing, and it is very, very different. It might look the same from the outside, but you may work the same job on the same conditions with a thought in your mind that I'm doing this right now, for example, to save money and to open my own business next year, or go travel the world next year, or something like that. Or you can just go to the same job every day to make more money, to buy things and impress people in the same job that you don't like, and so on, for 20 years without anything ahead of you. And I think that it feels different for most of the people. And I'm not saying that one of these goals is more valid than the other. Maybe the thing that brings you most joy in life is buying new and nice things, and it's also totally valid. But I'm just saying that a lot of the times people just do things because this is how things were done by their parents or by the surroundings where they grew up, and they never question why they do things a certain way. And I think that you need a lot of psychological integrity in order to start questioning these things in general. Especially nowadays, it's so easy to distract yourself from your real life by social media serious movies and stuff like that, that it became increasingly more difficult, but also increasingly more accessible to understand what you want, because we are exposed to such a great amount of information that we can accidentally discover something that might be the passion of our lives, but we would never know like 50 years ago that it even existed, because we would never get this information. And I think that also it's very important to get rid, as I said in the beginning of this video, of the things that we were told that we need or want, in order to listen to ourselves truly and understand what we need or want. And it is pretty difficult to do it on your own. And I will make a video why I think having a mentor in whatever you want to do is super important. I have had this conversation with various of my friends throughout my entire life, and somehow I always craved having a mentor, person who would explain to me how life works, because I didn't understand and I felt so lost. I think in an ideal world, our parents would fulfill this role, but we don't live in an ideal world, and usually our parents have their own shortcomings and at least a couple of areas of the life, so they cannot be the perfect mentors for us. Definitely in many things, most of our caregivers hopefully were also our mentors, but sometimes people have like really traumatic childhoods, or they have parents that were less than perfect, which is any parent or any caregiver that you have, and need to outsource this. And I think that it's also so cool that nowadays it is so accessible, and you can talk to someone who can solve the problem that for you feels like a problem of a lifetime in like a couple of sessions, because it's just they understand how things work, and also because they can see you from the outside, and from the distance you see so much more clearly. Going back to the conversation about life purpose, there are so many different ways of trying to find yours, and there are plenty of videos on ikigai or other methods of discovering what clicks for you or what can be your life purpose. But I think actually ikigai is more about vocation, which not necessarily equals purpose. Sometimes it does, but not necessarily. I would say like there are ways of doing that, and some of the steps would be to think about what made you click as a child, and what you really just find yourself spending your time on when you're not obligated to do anything. I would say that I kind of always knew what it was for me, and it took me maybe 3 years of like therapy and coaching to allow myself to accept that it was that. I think most of us, or at least I was the case, and I know a lot of people who are also the case, need like a push to allow ourselves to go there. And it can be many different limitations that we have. So a lot of us have like an inner belief that your job cannot be fun, that making money has to be like a struggle, that it is not good to be happy, even like that happy people are bad people, or it's maybe out of their reach, or they can get it because ABC they're not this enough, like smart enough, pretty enough, or whatever enough. And yeah, I think I would make a separate video like on each and any of these topics, but I just wanted to kind of sit down and chat about this because it was something that has been on my mind recently, and I wanted to know if any of you has any particular questions or curiosities that I could start with, and then I will try to make more videos because I was away for a long time. I was working 2 jobs and studying at the same time, so this is one of the reasons, and I was also traveling a lot. So I hope this is a beginning of a series of new videos. I'm not promising anything. Yeah, I would be very happy to hear any doubts or questions or opinions. We can start a discussion down in the comments, like if anyone is still there. I don't know. Yeah, I love you very much. Wish you a nice day, evening, night, wherever you are, and yeah, see you in the next video.